Yes, welcome to today's session mock test 2 on teaching aptitude. This mock test is going to cover all units in teaching aptitude such as education system awareness, education initiative, thinkers ideas, regulatory bodies, classroom management, diversity in learners, assessment and teaching learning process according to NCET 2026 syllabus. This mock test not only useful for NCET 2026, this mock test is very useful for all teaching examination, means entrance examination. With your permission, I would like to start mock test 2 on teaching aptitude. So here is the first question. The Qatari Commission 1964 to 66 was the first in India to strongly advocate for common school system. What is the primary philosophical objective behind this recommendation? Qatari Commission 1964 proposed a common school system throughout the country. What was the recommendation? Why this recommendation? What is the objective of this recommendation? A. To ensure all schools use the exact same textbook and exams. To promote social equity and national integration by bringing children from all social and economic background to study together. To mandate English as the sole medium of instruction across all states. To nationalize all private education institutions. So here is the answer for the first question is B. To promote social equity and national integration by bringing children from all social and economic background to study together. The Qatari Commission viewed common school system as essential for democratic society by having children for the rich, poor, and the middle class study under the same roof. The system aimed to break down social segregation and foster a sense of shared national identity. Coming to question number 2. In educational psychology, Albert Bandura's concept, reciprocal determinism, asserts the student learning behavior are shaped by continuous dynamic interaction of three factors. What are they? Albert Bandura's reciprocal determinism. A. Genetic nutrition, sleep, teacher, parent, peers. C. Cognitive factors, environmental factor, behavior itself. D. Id, ego, superego. So here is the answer is cognitive factors, environmental factors, behavior itself. Bandura's moved behind strict behaviorism, which blamed only the environment. Reciprocal determinism states that students' internal cognitive process, their environment, and actual behaviors are mutually influence and change each other. Question number 3. When integrating technology in education, TPSK framework is highly regarded. What does this framework suggest is required for truly effective technology integration? A. Massive budget for the latest hardware. B. The intersection and complex interplay of technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. C. Replacing teacher entirely with AI tutoring system. D. Teaching students how to code before they learn other subject. So here is the option that is about B. The intersection and complex interplay of technological knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge, developed by Misra and Kohler, TPSCK, shows that a teacher shouldn't just know their subject, how to teach, that's important, which is nothing but pedagogy, or how to use computer, that is about technology in isolation. Effective teaching happens where all three domains overlap, so the teacher must have content, pedagogy, and technology. Question number 4. In the context of assessment, what does the term washback or backwash effect refer to? A, a student forgetting everything immediately after the examination. The influence either positive or negative that a high stakes test has on the teaching and learning curriculum that precedes it. See, the process of scaling or normalizing grades. D, arising incorrect answers on OMR sheet. So here is the answer is answer B. What is that? The influence either positive or negative that a high stakes test has on the teaching and learning curriculum that precedes it. If an exam only test rote memory, teacher will start teaching to the test by making students memorize facts, which is negative washback. If test assess critical thinking, teacher will alter their pedagogy to teach critical thinking, creating positive washback. So here the influence factor of positive or negative. Fifth one, Donald Schoen described the concept of teacher as a reflective practitioner. Reflective, sorry, wait. Reflective practitioner. He distinguished between reflection on action, reflection in action, whereas reflection in action. Yeah, analyzing lesson plan the night after the teaching it, thinking on your feet, adjusting your teaching strategy in real time while the lesson actively happening, having senior teacher observe and grade your class, writing a general entry at the end of the school year. So reflective practitioner means that is option B. Thinking in your feet and adjusting your teaching strategy in real time while the lesson is actively happening. So reflection on action happens after the fact. Reflection in action is the hallmark of a master teacher, the ability to recognize that a lesson isn't working at that very moment and immediately pivoting to a new strategy to save the learning experience. If the action not work, then it will go for another new method to implement successfully. That is about reflection in action. Question number 6. On the rights of the persons with disability, RPWD Act 2016, what is a specific definition of benchmark disability? Any medically diagnosed physical or mental condition, a disability that prevents a person from attending regular school, a condition where a person has not less than 40% of specified disability certified by the certifying authority, a disability that is strictly visible to the naked eye. So your answer is that is about 40%, a condition where a person has not less than 40% of specified disability certified by the certifying authority. This is a crucial legal definition to avail of target government benefits, education quotas, or specific protections under RPWD Act 2016, a person's disability must be assessed and certified at 40% severity or higher severity. So here, wait, all disabilities that is above 40%, more than 40%. It should sorry, it should be here more than 40%, more than 40%. Question number 7, lesser. Okay, Lee Schultzman introduced the concept of pedagogical context knowledge (PCK). How does PCK differ from CK? PCK and CK. So here, content knowledge. PCK is the knowledge of general classroom management rules. PCK is understanding the subject matter so deeply that the teacher knows how to represent, explain, and adapt those specific concepts so they are comprehensible to diverse learners. See, PCK is the knowledge of how to operate school technology. PCK is the ability to write syllabus. So here is the answer. PCK is understanding the subject matter so deeply that the teacher knows how to represent, explain, and adapt those specific concepts so they are comprehensible to diverse learners. A brilliant physicist has high content knowledge, but they might be a terrible teacher. PCK is the specialized knowledge of how to translate that physics knowledge into analysis, demonstration, and lesson that a 15-year-old can actually understand. So PCK different from content knowledge. Content is only for subject. PCK is a perspective, how to present, how to provide the information to a student, those who are below the per age. Question number 8. According to Rudolf Dreikers model of classroom discipline, if a student feels they do not belong, they may act out based on 4 mistaken goals. If a student completely refuses to try, sits passively, and says, "I can't do it," they are exhibiting the goal of A. Attention seeking, seeking power, seeking revenge, discipline of inadvocacy. I can't do it. So here the answer is about discipline of inadvocacy. So when a student gives up entirely, they are using display of adequacy to escape expectations. They were essentially saying, "Don't expect anything from me, so I won't disappoint you or myself." The teacher's role is to gently encourage and highlight a small success. Even some students they're saying, "I can't do anything," but a teacher, you have to encourage him even though if you've done a small thing. Question number 9. NEP 2020 proposed the establishment of National Research Foundation (NRF). What is the primary objective of this body? NRF, National Research Foundation. A. To fund and mandate a culture of research and innovation across all university and higher education institutions in India. To research new methods of standardized testing. To act as intelligence agency for cyber safety. D. To exclusively fund historical research. So here is the answer is A. To fund a mandate of of research and innovation across all university and higher education institutions in India. India historically has a low percentage of GDP spent on research. The NRF aims to seed, grow, and facilitate research at academic institutions, linking researchers with government and industry to foster a robust innovation ecosystem. 10th one, Jiddu Krishnamurthy stated, there is, sorry, there is no learning when there is no authority. What is the profound pedagogical meaning behind the system? No learning, no authority. So, A. Teachers should allow students to misbehave. When a student unquestioningly accepts the truth from the teacher out of fear or respect, genuine inquiry ceases and mind is merely conditioned. C. Schools should not have principal. D. Students should rebel against the government. So it is the answer B. When a student unquestioningly accepts the truth from a teacher out of fear or respect, genuine inquiry ceases and the mind is merely conditioned. So every student must have the doubt. That is the best way of getting knowledge. Krishnamurthy argued that psychological authority destroys freedom. If a student simply accepts what the teacher says because the teacher is the authority, the student is just memorizing, not discovering the truth through their own critical inquiry. 11th one. In the context of instructional design, the cognitive apprenticeship model includes a phase called fading. Cognitive apprenticeship including a, that is the term that is called fading. What does fading entail? Fading. A student slowly forgetting the material over the summer break. Teachers slowly withdrawing their support and scaffolding as the student becomes more proficient and capable of independent problem solving. C. Lowering the lights in the classroom calm students down. D. Giving student easier questions at the end of the test. So here is the answer is B. The teacher slowly withdrawing their support and scaffolding as the student becomes more proficient and capable of independent problem solving. In cognitive apprenticeship, the teacher models the task, coaches the students, and provides scaffolding. Fading is the crucial final step where the teacher deliberately steps back so the learner can full responsible for the task. That means stopping, helping. Scaffolding means helping. External. Coming to 12th one, when evaluating the of reliability and validity of an assessment tool, which is the following statement is a fundamental axiom in psychometric. A. A test can be highly valid without being reliable. A test can highly reliable, but that does not guarantee it is valid. Reliability and validity are the exact same concept. Neither reliability nor validity matters if the test is multiple choice. So here the answer is a test can be highly reliable, but that does not guarantee it is valid. So here question is evaluating reliability and validity of assessment tool, which are the following statements fundamental axiom of psychometric. So here the answer is a test can be highly reliable, but that does not guarantee it is valid. So here what is reliability? Reliability means consistency, getting the same score every time. Validity means measuring what you intended to measure. Validity means what you intended to measure. Reliability means consistency, every time same value. A broken scale might consistently tell you that your weight is 10 kg, but it is completely inaccurate in value. Therefore, reliability is necessary but not sufficient for validity. What is that? A broken scale might consistently tell you that your weight is 10 kg, highly reliable, but it is completely inaccurate. That means invalid. Therefore, reliability is necessary but not sufficient for validity. Question number 13. Which constitutional provision explicitly addresses the intersection of education, language, and minority rights by directing the state to ensure to provide adequate facilities for instruction in the mother tongue that at the primary stage. 21A, 45, 350A, 51A. Sorry, 350A, 51A. So here is the answer is mother tongue, that is about 350A. Inserted by 7th Amendment, Article 350A safeguards the rights of linguistic minorities, recognizing that fundamental foundational education is most effective and culturally affirming when delivered in the child's mother tongue. So, Article 355 stressed on child's mother tongue. Question number 14. In Carroll and Tomlinson's framework for differentiated instruction, a teacher who allows one student to write an essay, the another to record a podcast, and the third to build a dialogue or drama script to demonstrate the same historical knowledge is differentiating the context, process, product, learning environment. So your answer is that is our product. Differentiated instruction focus on modifying four areas. Modifying the product means changing the way students show that they have learned, allowing them to use their specific strength, multiple intelligence to prove mastery. This is as per Carroll and Tomlinson's. Tomlinson's. 15th one, Sri Aurobindo's education philosophy revolves around the first principle of true teaching. What is that? First principle of true teaching. A. The mind must be disciplined through the rigorous rote learning. The teacher is the absolute authority. C. Nothing can be taught. The teacher is helper and guide, not an instructor. D. Philosophical education is more important than mental education. So here is the answer. Nothing can be taught. The teacher is a helper and guide, not an administrator. Aurobindo believed that knowledge is already within the learner. The teacher can't pour knowledge into the student. They can only show the student how to perfect their own instrument of knowledge and encourage them to pull that knowledge. 16th one, Jacob Conin identified the classroom management skill of overlapping. Which scenario best describe a teacher successfully utilizing overlapping? A. Teaching two different math concepts on two different days. Continue to teach small reading group while simultaneously making eye contact and using hand signal to stop student across the room from throwing paper. Grading papers during the lunch break. Having two teachers co-teach a single lesson. So obviously your answer is continuing to teach a small reading group while simultaneously making eye contact and using hand signal to stop a student across the room from throwing a paper. Overlapping is the ability to handle two or more classroom events simultaneously without losing the flow or momentum of the primary instructional activity. It requires high witness. Open 17th one. Open education resources OER resources are defined by 5R permission that users are granted which of the following is not one of the 5 R's: retain, remix, restrict, redistribute. Written means what? Make, own, and control copies. Remix combine two different resources. Ratio charge money for access. Ratio share copies with others. So here is the answer that is about restrict. So which of the following not one of the fires that is restricted? So here the fires are what? Retain, reuse, revise, remix, redistribute. So these are the 5 R's in OER: retain, reuse, revise, remix, redistribute. The entire philosophy of OER is based on open access and the removal of cost barriers. Therefore, restricting access for profit violates the OER framework. 18th, 19th, sorry, 18th one missing. Coming to 18th, so 19th one. A defined characteristic of authentic assessment is that a relies exclusively on multiple choice format to avoid teacher bias, requires students to apply their knowledge and skill to solve complex real world problems. C. Compare student against national normative. Call D. Take less than 10 minutes to complete. So here is the answer is about B. Requires students to apply their knowledge and skill to solve complex real world problems. Authenticate assessment move away from abstract testing. Instead of asking a student to choose the formula for calculating area on a test, an authentic assessment might ask the student to calculate the actual amount of paint needed to paint their classroom. 20. In the Right to Education Act 2009, Section 16 originally mandate a strict no detection no detection policy up to class 8th. However, RTE amendment of Act 2019 altered this. What is this? What is the correct legal standing? A. No detection policy was completely abolished. School can fail students any grade. B. States are now empowered to hold back students in class 5 and 8 provided they are given a chance for re-examination after remedial teaching. C. Only private schools are allowed to detain the students. D. Student must pass a national board exam in class 3. So here is the answer is states are now empowered to hold back students in class 5 and 8 provided they are given a chance for re-examination after remedial teaching. The amendment shout a middle ground. It allows states to introduce exams in class 5 and 8 to ensure learning outcomes are met, but mandates a 2-month remedial period and a retest before child can actually be detained, ensuring they aren't punished for systematic failures. Question number 21. Mahatma Gandhi famously asserted, literacy is not the end of education, even the beginning. In the context of Naithalim philosophy, this implies that only oral tradition should be passed down. Literacy is merely a tool. True education must awaken the soul, build character and psychology and physical fitness, the intellect with the practical and manual labor. C. Reading books makes individual arrogant and disconnected from reality. D. Physical strength is the only valuable outcome of the school. Outcome of school. So here is the answer. That is B. What is that? Literacy is merely a tool. True education must awaken the soul, build character, improve physical fitness, and the intellect with the practical and manual labor. Gandhiji criticized the colonial model for equating education with the mere literary, that is about clerk making. He viewed education as an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and man making man body mind spiritually. You want to develop the body mind spirit in the in the learners, where literacy was just one of many tools to achieve this. So here you want to improve body mind and spiritual learning, the spiritual aspect. 22nd one, according to the Neil Noddings Ethics of Care in Education Philosophy, the foundation element of any successful pedagogy is to strict enforcement of behavior rules, to development of receptive, reciprocal, caring relationship between the teacher and the student, to improve, to implementation of rigorous standardizing testing, D, the use of the latest digital technology in the class. So here is answer, that is about answer B, the development of receptive, reciprocal, and caring relationship between the teacher and the student. Noddings argue that caring is not just a warm feeling but a moral obligation and the foundation of education. A student cannot learn optimally from a teacher who does not genuinely care for them, making the relational aspect of teaching paramount. Here is the last question. NEP 2020 advocate for the establishment of special education zone says these are specifically targeted at A. Promoting allied scientific research for gifted students. B. Regions with significantly large population from socio-economically disadvantaged groups to provide targeted funding and intervention. C. Creating isolated campuses slowly for students with a severe disability. And finally, D. Setting up private international school for foreign diplomas. So here is the answer is religions with significantly large population from socio-economically disadvantaged groups to provide targeted funding and their and intervention. So yeah, acknowledging that geographical and socio-economic disadvantages often overlap, NEP 2020 recommends identifying specific regions across the country with large population of marginalized communities and declaring them sets to focus immense educational resource and equity efforts there. Thank you.